Wow. It has been a year since the first one of these. For those of you who are new, this is the yearly recap that I do. The second time, pretty much I write down all the events that happen in my life, things that I think are worth noting. A lot of it doesn't really matter to anyone but me, but these videos are just kind of for myself to look back on and almost like a podcast type thing. I hate podcasts. I hate using that word, but like, I don't know. This is kind of just a time capsule for myself. Um, yeah, so last one, I can't watch it. I can't go back and watch it because I had the mouth guard, if you guys remember, and it was mortifying talking with that thing in. I'm so happy to have it out, um, and I will never take being able to talk normally for granted again. But yeah, this year I got braces. That's kind of something that came after that. I'll talk about it later, probably. Um, but yeah, first thing I wanted to talk about really on the list was people who actually watched the last one of these. I I expected no one to watch the last one, the 2023 recap. It was just a video for me to look back on. I made it public for the heck of it, and people watched it. Um, I wrote down everyone who watched it just because I wanted to name them individually because they're the goats, man. Like, if you listen to me ramble on like this stupid video for an hour and a half, 2 hours, like that means a lot to me. I don't know, but yeah, we got Adam, which was insane. Like, I was just at a cubing competition. I don't think I've ever talked to him before. He just walks up to me. He's like, "Hey, you know your recap video you made?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "I watched it." And I'm like, "You watched all of it?" And he's like, "Yeah." But now I know him. He's a cool guy, really good at cubing. But like, I don't know. That's crazy to me that someone who doesn't even know me would just watch that. But shout out to Adam. Also, my friends Jack and Jack and Matt, my two good friends. They both sent me like a picture of them like with the watch bar, like that they'd watched it or whatever. So shout out to those homies. Um, Also, Justin may have watched a good chunk of it. I'm not sure, but shout out to you, Justin. You're awesome. And George. George is a friend. We go way back, and he watched it, and I really appreciate it because we don't talk a whole lot anymore. But just knowing that he watched that, like that, again, that just means a lot to me. But yeah, shout out to you guys. So yeah, pretty much what I'm just gonna do is I'm just gonna go through. I have a long list of just things that happened, and I'm just gonna talk them all over. I think I have more than last year, so this may be a lengthy video. But the first thing I did is it was almost exactly a year ago, like to the day from today. Um, Someone had a giant 2x2. It's probably about like that big compared to a 3x3, 90 centimeter 2x2, I think. Someone brought it to a cubing comp, and I'd never seen one before. It was like a mass produced one, and it was really cool. I'm like, hey, can I compete with this? And Canyon, the owner of it, was like, yeah, sure. So I competed with it, and I was only like a second away from my average times just because I have like the strangler hands, I've been told. Just the long fingers, I feel like really helped me there. But it was pretty funny. Everyone was watching. It was kind of a funny, silly moment. Um, I was driving back from a competition or work or something. I was headed back home. My dad called me and he was like, "Hey, the roads are pretty bad. Like they're pretty snowy and icy. So like, be careful." And I'm like, "Oh, everything's been fine. Like I'm on the freeway. I'm almost off, and everything's pretty good." Uh, because the roads were fine for me. And then I got off the freeway, drove like a mile or two, and there I drove over a bridge, and then at the end of the bridge, the handrail stopped, and so there was just like a bunch of snow and ice like right after that, and I hit it going like 50 miles an hour, and I like did a 180, 360 going down the road 50 miles an hour in my car, uh, pitch black at night. But yeah, I just went straight down the road like spinning like a freaking Fast and Furious movie. um, but yeah, luckily no cars were coming the other way because I could have been seriously injured. But I went off the road and I called my dad like 10 minutes after he'd called me. I'm like, hey, so I went off the road and he tried to help me out, but like we couldn't get the car out that night. So like we had some people from work bring a work truck and they like towed it out the next day. But that was kind of embarrassing. Um, at the beginning of the year, um, me and my dad wrapped one of his snow machines. So me and him go snow machining almost like every Saturday during the winter, and it's kind of like something we do together. Um, and he had a sled that was like all black, and he ordered a print for it, like a vinyl wrap, and we spent like a week wrapping it. We brought the entire thing into our basement, so we had a snow machine just sitting in the basement, and like we had all these stickers laid out everywhere, and it it was a process. It took us like 20 hours or something to get it all done. And I think like the final night we stayed up till like 1 or 2 in the morning just doing it, but it looked really cool. The stickers were kind of weird, like they weren't perfectly designed, so there was a bunch of like flaws and stuff. But the sled looks awesome. It was pretty cool. Uh, and we finished it like a day or two before we were taking it out for the first time of like the season or the year. And he let me ride it first, and we got about a mile. We were just riding through like a snowy field to get to like the hill, mountain, tree areas. Like we were headed there. Um, and my foot felt hot, so I looked down, and like my boot had like melted a tiny piece, and something happened with the brakes, and like I stopped the sled and I look, and like I can see a piece of metal, like a disc inside of it. Like I don't really know what part it is. It's like a brake or something, but it was orange. It was just orange from like friction. So I'm like, oh, that's not good. So like they stopped and we were like throwing snow on it, and then like it caught on fire for a second. We like threw snow on it, and then it caught on fire again, and we were like just throwing snow at it. So it burnt a tiny piece of the wrap, which was kind of funny. Like 2 minutes into riding it for the first time after the wrap, I did that. But it's not really noticeable, so it was fine. Um, then I think it was January. I bought a Bamboo Labs printer. I've been 3D printing since Christmas 2018. I think I got my first printer, and I've always had problems with every printer I've ever had. Like it's been the worst, just troubleshooting and working with all the printers I've ever had. It's a nightmare. Um, but I had a resin printer that worked for a while. Like it gave me really good quality prints, but like it did have issues like with the prints, like the supports would like mess them up, and it wasn't perfect. But I guess 3D printing has come a long way in the last couple years. So like 3D printers are like FDM ones that print plastic are freaking good now. Like you can print crazy stuff. So I really just dived back into making puzzles and stuff, which has been one of my main hobbies. But you know, I can't really do it when I'm at college, so I can only do it for like half the year when I'm living here with my family. But yeah, I made a good amount of puzzles. I made a void ghost cube. I made a 3 by 3 by 5 eye ghost cube. A 2 by 3 by 3 ghost cube. I'm really into ghost cubes, especially the white ones. I've never modded a white cube before, but like I've started doing them. So they're white with the black stickers. I really like. I used to not like that look, but now I'm super into it. So I made a bunch of those. Um, yeah. I also made one of like a Gengar. It was like a 2x2 Rubik's cube, and then like a Fuecoco, both Pokemon. Yeah, 3D printed a bunch of other stuff. Um, but the printer's been amazing. It's been a year and really like no problems. Very few tiny hiccups, and most of them are just user error. Um, but it's awesome being able to 3D print and get incredible quality and have it be reliable. It's been awesome. Um, let's see. I Subway announced that they're doing a foot long cookie this year. Um, I love Subway cookies, but Subway foot long cookie was not it. I got one and I drove. I got it after work and I drove home to try it, and it was like an hour drive and I didn't taste it. I was just waiting to get home, and I got home and laid it out, and I'm like, oh man, I'm so excited because I love their cookies. And then like I started eating it and I'm like, nah, this isn't good. And like my mom tried it and she's like, dude, this is awful. And I'm like, yeah, it kind of is. So I just like threw it away. But that was kind of a huge letdown because I was thinking it'd taste like their cookies, but like it tasted just like a bad brownie or something. It just was not good.
Mm-hmm.
What the heck? I don't know what that was. My phone just vibrated. I'm filming this with my phone, so I can't see my messages, and it just like vibrated. So hopefully that's not important. um, I'm gonna skip over that one. That one's stupid. Oh, so Kung Fu Panda 4 came out this year. They had at the theater my sister worked at, they had a thing where they would play the first, second, and third movie in a row on one day. So me and Matt went to that. Um, Matt's my best friend for anyone who doesn't know. We went to that and it was pretty fun. We I bought like a nice popcorn bucket, like a Kung Fu Panda themed popcorn bucket, and we sat next to this really weird guy, and then we changed seats because he was kind of annoying, but it was kind of funny. But yeah, uh, good movies. Number two is I decided that then that number two is my all time favorite movie. Like my favorite all time movie has always been the three Kung Fu Pandas, but like I couldn't decide which one, but it's for sure two. Super good movie if you have not seen it. Um, yeah, and then like right after that, Kung Fu Panda 4 came out. So like that's huge. I love Kung Fu Panda so much. So like I 3D printed a staff like the one that he has in the movie, like a little mini staff that was like about a foot long. And then me and Matt wore suits, and my mom made me a custom Kung Fu Panda tie. It was super dope. We
Mm-hmm.
wore it to the movie. It was awesome. A lot of people didn't like the movie very much, but I thought it was good. Um, you know, there were issues. Um, I don't think it's as good as the other three, but it's still a great movie. I think a lot of the hate is undeserved, but that's just my opinion. Um, oh yeah, so on Leap Day, me and a bunch of the people on the Rocky Mountain Cubers Discord did a blindfolded 3x3 solve, or we started one. Um, we basically on leap day we took a 3x3 and we memorized it, and then we all put them in a box. Like we did this each from our own houses, like we each did it individually, but we took them and put them in a box. I have mine in my closet, and we're not gonna open it till leap day next time, so 4 years, I guess, almost just over 3 years from now. um, so you have to review your memo for that, but it's been good. I spent 18 minutes memorizing it. For reference, normally for a 3x3 I can memo it in like 2 minutes, but I wanted to be absolutely sure I did it right, so I'd spent 18 minutes memorizing it, like quadruple checking. I probably checked more than 4 times, but I checked it so many times to make sure it was good. Um, but hopefully I memorized it right. I still have the memo down super well. Um, I could just say the letters, like I don't even have to think about it. But I won't because that kind of be cheating if I said it out loud. But yeah, I have that. That's kind of cool. Let's see. Oh yeah, so we started doing competitions in Boise, cubing competitions, um, and I don't I think it was the first one we did. We hadn't had one since like November of 2019. But we had one in like March or something, and I'd been practicing square one, and I pulled off a sub 15 average and a sub 10 single, which I'm really happy about because I failed a sub 10 the year before. Um, but it's nice to have an official one, and that's kind of what my end goal for square one was. Like I wanted a sub 15 average and a sub 10 single, and I got them. So I guess I'm done. Um, I might come back to square one, but for now I'm happy with that. Um, oh yeah, I started wearing glasses for a while. Um, they're actually pretty cool. They had like a rose tint to them, so they're like pink glasses, kind of. I wore them for a few months, on and off, because apparently it's supposed to help with like blue light headaches or something. I don't know. My mom just wanted me to try it, so I did. But yeah, I mean, I kind of liked the look, but it didn't help with headaches. It just made it worse because my head's so sensitive to having stuff on it. So it didn't really work, but it was kind of a little time where I just wore glasses. I guess I don't know. So I wasn't sure about sharing this last year, and I think I'll do it this year. It's kind of personal, but also a disclaimer: if you're my parents and you're watching this, I don't think they will, but if you are watching this, I want you to pause the video right now and talk to me about this. I don't want you. I wouldn't want you to learn this from a YouTube video. I feel like it should come from me. But yeah, earlier this year I decided that I'm identifying as agnostic. Um, it's kind of been a process over the last few years. I kind of decided in like 2021 that if I didn't really have, if nothing changed in my life, then I was probably just gonna stop going to church and live the rest of my life normally, probably about the way I would now. Um, I'd probably do that around the time I graduated college, which is about now in my life. But there was a night in March this year where I was just like, I don't know. It kind of just, some wall in my head came down, and I I don't know. I don't really feel like there is a God, or maybe there is, but I don't think it's something that people know for sure. Um, I don't know. I feel bad saying that because I've grown up in a very religious area, and most of the people I know are religious. Um, and it makes me feel like I don't fit in exactly. But yeah, um, I I'm not like anti-religion or anything. I'm totally for it. I think the church I was part of was great, and it really helped shape me for who I am today. And it was a net positive for me, but I don't know. I don't think it's the right thing for me. Uh, yeah, it's it's there's a lot of thought in it, but it's hard to put it into words. Um, but yeah, that's kind of a major event for me mentally, I guess. But yeah, like if you're my friend and you're religious, like that, it won't change anything. I'm not gonna live my life any different. Like I just don't want to go to church anymore. That's really the only difference. Like, I'm still gonna live all the standards I normally lived. But yeah, that's all I want to say about it. I don't really know how to transition from topic to topic. Like, I don't, I don't know. But on a more lighter note, I did a little bit. Every year I do a video when it hits midnight and becomes my birthday. Every year I do a video. Usually I'll eat something weird, and then that's about it. But I turned 25, and I played the little bit from SpongeBob where it's like, what's funnier than 24? Oh, 25. And I think I had it like say that right as it hit midnight or something. And I said in my one for 2025, when I turn 26, I'm going to eat an entire box of granola bars. So that'll be fun. Oh, yeah. So the eclipse was this year. It was the last full solar eclipse in the lower 48 states till like 2045. And I was like, all right, I have to do everything in my power to see that. It's on the other side of the country, but like I won't get to see it again until I'm 46. So I got to see it now. I saw the one in 2017. My house was in the totality path, which is amazing. It was literally the coolest thing I've ever seen. So I wanted to experience it again. But we had a family trip. We flew out to Chicago. I've never been there before. It was really cool. Cool city. Did a whole bunch of stuff. But for the eclipse, we just went out into a field and watched it. I solved the cube during the eclipse. That was, again, the coolest thing I've ever seen. Like, if you haven't seen one, highly encourage you to do everything in your power to see a full solar eclipse. It's literally the coolest experience you can have in your life. I firmly believe that. But yeah, I also got to see the Chicago Bean. I am obsessed with that thing, and I finally got to see it in person, but they're doing like maintenance on it, so it was like all fenced off, so you couldn't even get within like 50 feet of it, and the fences are like had like a thing covering it, so like you had like peek through these little cracks to see it and all this crap. I will go back one day and I will touch it. I will touch the bean, but for now I've seen it. Okay, my phone vibrated. It scared me again. Let's see. There was a bunch of other stuff we did on the trip. Another cool thing we did was we went up Sears Tower and went in these little glass boxes that like are over the city. It's just a glass floor. We took a bunch of pictures. I got a bunch of videos of that. It was really cool. It's sad. I can't remember it off the top of my head. I'm also kind of on the spot right now. Like, one thing I've learned about myself is that it's so much harder for me to get my point across when I'm talking to someone or just talking because it's like I'm on the spot and my brain just freezes up. I don't know if I realized that in the last year, but I've totally realized it about myself. Like when I'm texting or typing, I can clearly convey what I'm thinking. And I can think clearly, but like when I'm just talking like this, it's totally worse when I'm talking to an actual person, but like it's really rough. I don't know if that's like social anxiety, which I definitely have to some extent. I don't know. I'm ranting. There was a zoo we went to. What else did we do in Chicago? Oh, we went to Indiana and stayed with family, and it's insane there, dude. They bought a house for like 30 grand, and then they bought another one for like 50 grand, and they like fix them up, and like some of them aren't even decrepit houses. They're just like a little house, but you can buy it for like 30-40 grand. You can buy an entire house. That's insane. I almost want to just move to Indiana so I can actually own a home, But that was crazy. Yeah, I posted a bunch of stuff on. I posted all my pictures from the trip onto Facebook, and I have it saved in a doc. So I guess I don't really mind not talking about the trip a whole lot, just because I have all the stuff saved, so I can go back and look at that. Um, let's see. Ooh, so I think this is earlier in the year. Yeah, it finished when I was in Chicago. There was this thing I followed called Team 0%. It was these people trying to beat every single level ever made in Super Mario Maker, and like I didn't think it was gonna happen. This guy made a video in November of 2023 or sometime around then talking about it, and he's like, "Okay, we got like 25,000 levels left, and we can do it." And I'm like, I don't think it's gonna happen, but I'm gonna follow this community and stuff. So I joined the Discord, followed it. It was crazy, like just a huge community coming together to beat all these levels, and like it was so close. It was like so down to the wire. Like as they beat more and more, progress slows and slows. They beat less and less levels, but like it came down to it, and it was like a week left, and they had this one level, and it was just like super super hard. It's like a 10 or 12-second level, but the amount of inputs and like all the stuff is just crazy. And there's this big controversy about it. Like people were starting to think, because like they beat like the second to and third to last ones like in a day, but they were stuck on this one for like 2 weeks, this last level. And like people were like, dude, the guy who uploaded it must have hacked, because to upload a level you have to have beaten it yourself. And so people are like, dude, he must have cheated. Like there's no way someone could have done this. And there's a bunch of people being, no, he did it legit. It was back and forth. And finally the creator of the level comes out all these years later, and he's like, yeah, so we made like, he found a way to make like a, I don't know the exact details, I don't remember, but like he figured out a way to make like a physical thing to play the controller and do it like perfectly, like a task. And so he did cheat to get it uploaded, and it was kind of anticlimactic because everyone's like, oh, I guess we beat all the levels, but that was kind of a lame ending. But like this one dude, he kept grinding the level, and there was like a week left, maybe a few days left, and it was when I was in Chicago. I wish I could have seen it live, but this dude grinded the level for so long, and he finally got it, and it was like the coolest thing ever. It was like the good ending. They beat all the levels. It was a really cool thing to follow, and they're trying to do it for Super Mario Maker 2. I haven't really been following that because you can still upload levels to it, so there's probably like millions of uncleared ones right now. But yeah, that was a really cool thing to follow. Um, oh my gosh. So me and my sister got tickets to a midget wrestling match. Um, that was weird as frick. We went. It was at a bar, and I've never really been to a bar before. Like, I've gone to like to eat at bars with like my parents. They're like bar restaurants, like where you can't have kids and stuff. But like, I've never been to just like a bar, especially like without my parents. It's like me and my sister go to this bar with some of her friends, and like they just have like these midgets wrestling, and it was like WWE, but like without the talent, without the money, without it was awful, and it was super sexualized, and it made me really uncomfortable because I'm weird. But it was really awful. So we just left after a while. It was pretty stupid, but I mean it's fun to say that I went to that, I guess. But we went to a couple other bars. I don't drink, and that comes from the religious upbringing, but I don't really have any interest in doing it anyway, even if I'm not like interested in church stuff anymore. I just don't find it an appealing activity, and I think it's stupid. But that's just me. I don't have a problem with people who do it, as long as you're not like stupid about it. But yeah, that was kind of weird going to a bar for the first time. Um, so right before my first day of school for 2024, the day before, it was on a or no, it was 2 days before. It was on a Saturday. I found a listing on Facebook Marketplace in Jackson, um, for this shelf. It was kind of like this one right here, but it was a 5x5 shelves, and it was like this. It was the size of these gray ones. The gray one back here is a 2x4. It was a 5x5, and literally like I've been wanting one of those for a super long time because it's like perfect for a cube collection, like perfect to display. It's huge. It's like 6 feet tall, 6 feet wide, all this shelf space, and it was for free on Marketplace, which was insane. So I messaged the person. I'm like, "Yo, I want this. This is my dream shelf." And like, she's like, "Okay, you want to come get it tomorrow?" And like, I call, we like had a phone call. Like, I talked to her, and made sure it was legit and everything. But she was just giving it away. Like, it was awesome. So I got my friend Matt, and we did a little road trip. It was like 2 hours to get there. We disassembled it in her basement, hauled it up the stairs, loaded it up into the van, and drove it back. Um, it won't fit in my room though, so I've had it for almost a year now, and it's just been sitting in my closet disassembled because it won't fit in my room. So I'm saving it for when I get my own place. Um, but yeah, I'm super happy. I asked her, I'm like, hey, can I give you like some money? Like, these are worth money, And she's like, nah, like I just wanted to give it away, just to be nice. I'm like, well, I appreciate it. So that was pretty cool. I took Matt to a barbecue place for helping me out. We got some burgers or something. Um, oh yeah, so my cousin Hayden and me are super into collecting Nintendo stuff. He has an insane Nintendo collection. Like, I can't even begin to tell you how insane it is, but that's not the point. There's this site he uses that has like prices for everything. It takes like all the sales on eBay for like a specific item you're looking at and like averages it out, and it like gives you the average prices for everything. And that's what everyone uses to sell like retro stuff. They use that site to get their prices and stuff. And I went through my entire Nintendo collection and logged every single thing, like, to you can like add your own collection and add items to it, and I added everything I have, and I think it came out to about like $5,000 worth of stuff. Obviously, some of the stuff was not worth as much as it was listed for because it was like in bad condition or whatever. But if the stuff was in like all good condition, it would have been like $5,000 worth of stuff, which was insane. That was like exactly a year ago, and I think now it's worth, or maybe it was I think it was 6,000 because right now it's like 7,500. Just from stuff going up in price and me spending a bunch of money on Nintendo stuff because I'm a loser and not saving well when I should be. But what are you gonna do? That was kind of cool to put that all together. And I don't know, now I log every time I get a Nintendo thing. I put it into the collection so I can track everything. um and then I did a kind of similar thing. I made one day, I like didn't want to do homework, so I made this. I spent like an hour or two making this spreadsheet of all the Rubik's cubes I want to buy. Like, I have plenty, but there's some that I want to get. Like, I'm not in a hurry to get them. I'm like, okay, well, I'll pick up a few here and there over the years, and maybe like 5 years from now I'll have all of them. Who knows? Um, but like, I logged the prices and links to them and everything, and I made this fancy spreadsheet. And I don't know, it was pretty fun. Um, and I, update that. Like, my parents were like, "What do you want for Christmas this year? We want to get you something." I'm like, "Can I get cubes?" And my mom's like, "No, no." Like, my parents are just so against getting me cubes because I have so many. Like, they haven't gotten me any in years, and I mean, that's fine. They probably shouldn't, but my mom was like, "No, I want to get you something else." And then like, she handed it over to my dad. She's like, "You're in charge of getting Damien's Christmas present." And so he asked me, I'm like, cubes? And like, so I sent him the spreadsheet, and he got me a couple from it. This one is one of them. It's such a cool looking puzzle, but it sucks to solve. I don't. This is about as close as I've gotten. I haven't solved it, and I probably won't. I'll probably just look at a tutorial, but I don't know. It's kind of stupid. It's a really cool looking puzzle, and I'm glad to have it, but it's not really fun to play with. Um, let's see. I got some more. Let's see. I have the Cube collection, which I talked about, the Nintendo collection, which I talked about. I also got some manga. Um, I basically I have a checklist for all three collections of like the things I want to get to finish the collection. Um, so I made that spreadsheet for the cubing one, and then I have like a collection on that one website for the Nintendo stuff. It's like a collection of things I want to get. And then there's the manga collection where I want to get all the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and Hunter x Hunter manga, and I got a few of those this year. I I think I bought like five Hunter x Hunter books. I bought the ones that take place after the anime ends. So, like, I didn't really know what happened in those books because the writer's still writing it, and I've only ever seen the anime. But it was really cool. Like, I got the next five books and I was reading them, and it was so cool to like have new stuff in the series because it's like my favorite story of all time. It's my favorite TV show. Um, and it was just really cool because like I watched it in 2015, so I've known all the story, at least of the anime, for 9 years now. But then to finally just have some more content for it was really cool. I also got like seven of the JoJo books from my sisters for Christmas, so both of those collections grew quite a bit. I think they've doubled in size from the seven JoJo books. Now I think I have 14 now. Um, and then Hunter x Hunter, I have about like 10 now, I think, and I had five before. But yeah, each series has about like 37 books right now, so got a ways to go. But, you know, that's a long term goal. I also spent a bit of time reading all those new ones. I don't know, it's cool. Um, oh, so one thing that's been on my mind a ton this last year is just the amount of time I'm wasting on social media. It's terrible. Like everyone is super addicted to phone and stuff. I don't want to sound like a boomer, but like I don't want to look back at the end of my life and just remember Instagram Reels. um, so I've slowly been throughout the year cutting back on social media and stuff. Like at first I was like, okay, I'm not gonna doom scroll on TikTok anymore. So I only would watch TikToks people sent me. I wouldn't just get on the app for no reason. Um, Same with Instagram. I'd just go through my feed, look at my messages, and get out. I wouldn't go on the explore page or anything. Um, and then eventually I pushed that back. I deleted TikTok, so I don't use TikTok anymore. Instagram, um, I still check my feed and my messages, but a goal for 2025, um, I want to delete Instagram fully, be done with that. Um, I stopped checking Facebook a year or two ago, but I get on Marketplace. I'm I'm fine doing Marketplace. I think that's like worthwhile because you can actually get like good deals on stuff from it, and it helps me grow my Nintendo collection and my Pokemon card collection. Um, so I'm fine using like Marketplace. Um, I'm I'm right now I'm working on like YouTube and Twitch. Those are real bad ones for me right now. I really struggle, because like anytime I don't have something to do, I just get on YouTube and or Twitch, and it I waste a lot of time there, and I wanna get better about it, and I wanna get to a point where I'm just like not addicted to social media anymore, and I just don't have a desire to use it. Um, it's pointless, and it's not as fun anymore. Um, the amount of ads and everything, it kind of just ruined everything. So I don't know. That's just me. Um, the one thing that sucks about it is just being disconnected from everything. Like you don't know what's going on. Like in the cubing community, I've felt very disconnected over the last year or two, just from not checking Facebook and stuff. It really sucks, but like I think it's worth the trade off. Um, and like if I end up getting married and having kids, like that isn't important. Like having a family is important. Instagram reels, not really. Like, forget about it. Oh, so the Aurora Borealis came to Idaho, and apparently even as far south as like Salt Lake City. Um, I was on a trip, a cubing trip in Boise, I think, with Cade and Brendan, and we stopped in Burley, or maybe it was a Burley competition. We tried to see the Northern Lights that night, but like couldn't see anything. Um, we were getting back from the trip. I pulled into town, Idaho Falls, about like 10 p.m. and it was like the last night of it. I still hadn't seen it. And I'm like, dude, I want to see this. This is on my bucket list. I've wanted to see it so bad for my entire life. And so I got back to my apartment and I took a poop and then I just got in my car and I just drove north. I took this one girl. I was like, hey, you want to come? She came. This girl I was talking to at the time. I'm not talking to her anymore, so cool. But we drove out into the desert and there was just lines of cars on the side of the road, just hundreds of cars, all college people just out there, had the same idea as me. And there was a point when we were driving there and I looked in the sky and I could like faintly see some like white waves kinda, and I was like, dude, look, and I was like, whoa. And as soon as we got to somewhere we could stop, I got out of the car, we sat there, and there was nothing. It was gone. I'm so mad, because we only saw like a tiny glimpse of it. Um, but I was pretty upset about it. Like I've wanted to see it fully, and everyone and their dog got amazing pictures and got to see it in its full. Not me. I didn't get anything because I was out of town. And then that night I was too late. Like I got there right as it was ending. But my cope is that, freak it, when I'm an adult, I am an adult, but when I'm like older and more financially set, I can just fly to Alaska and see it. So I gotta wait a while, but I'll see it. I'll see it eventually. Um, let's see. There was one day where this is gonna sound so sad, but like, don't take it sad in a sad way. Like, don't feel pity. Like, I think it's kind of funny. I was just, I, for like a second, I was like messaging the AI on like the Snap, Instagram, Facebook, the Facebook Messenger AI. I was like, dog, like I hate being single. I want to find someone, and it was like, you know, the point of life like isn't completely about just getting married. Like there's other things to life, and like as stupid as that was, I was like, dude, that's kind of true. Like life is literally just what you want to do. Like you don't have to do that. Like I'd like to, but like if it happens, it happens. But I don't know. I've tried to keep the mindset like if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Like I'm not gonna sit here and be upset about it. Like it didn't happen. There's no point in being upset about something. Um, do what you can, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Um, that sounds so sad. I don't want it to sound sad. Like I'm fine. I'm actually pretty okay. Um, you know, I just wanna live here and do my thing for a while. If someone wants to join me, that's cool. If not, that's fine too. Um, but it was just kind of funny that I had that moment of realization from talking to a stupid AI bot. um, oh, dude. So like, I failed. I I failed. I've never failed a class before, but in high school I had a calculus class. It was AP honors calculus, and I'm finishing college right now. And that high school class was the hardest class I've ever taken. The teacher made it so rough, and I ended the second semester. There's 3 trimesters. The first one you learn the first half, the second one you learn the second half, and the third one you just study for the AP test. So at the end of the second semester, I had a 60%, which is the lowest possible passing grade. Um, but I don't really count a D as passing, but the school did, so I say I failed calculus, but I don't know, I kind of did. But that was 2017, and the teacher kind of forced me out of the class so I wouldn't bring the AP score down. So I finished the first 2 semesters, so I basically did it. But like a D wasn't high enough of a grade. It was dual credit, but it wasn't a high enough grade to actually count for my degree. So I had to take it again in college, and I didn't freaking remember anything. It's been like 7 years. So I took pre-calc again, and then this last year, or 2024, I say this last year, it's 2025 right now when I'm recording this, but 2024, I took calculus again, and I did really good. I actually did my homework this time, and I had a friend in the class. I'd come every day, and we'd stay after class a lot of the time and just talk about cubing and stuff. He was a cuber. Yeah, he's a cool guy, and I don't really see him much these days because I'm not in Rexburg. But I see him at a comp every once in a while. He's a cool guy. And he really helped me through that class. Like if I didn't understand something, I would usually talk to him and he'd help me out with it. Um, the reason I didn't understand stuff is because it was a 9 a.m. class, or 10 a.m. 10:15. I think it was a 10:15 a.m. class, and I fell asleep in it so much. Like I'd wake up at the end of class and not know what's going on. I'm like, cool. I'd talk to him and he'd always help me out. But there was one day specifically where the teacher taught something that was like super super crucial to the entire rest of the semester, like a concept you really needed to know. I fell asleep through class that day. I'm like, well, frick, I don't know it. So I went back to my apartment and I found some AI videos of like Mr. Beast and Ice Spice and Arnold Schwarzenegger explaining the concept to you in like 2 minutes. So I watched the video twice and then I'm like, okay, I got it. And like I actually understood it. It was so funny. Like the teacher spent an hour explaining it to the class, and then like I watched it. He wasn't great at explaining stuff. He wasn't the greatest teacher, but Mr. Beast and Ice Spice were. And yeah, that was kind of cool, funny but cool. Um, oh dude, I went to a rave for the first time. There was this girl I was talking to earlier in the year, and I was really into her. And it seemed like she was really into me, but it didn't really work out. But we went to a Shrek rave, and it was something. She was definitely in her place. Like she is a rave type person. Like she had a great time, and it's not my environment, but I did my best to you know have a good time and fit in and stuff, and I did. But after like an hour and a half of dancing, just in a mosh pit of people just pressed together, I'm like, dude, they didn't have a drinking fountain or anything. I'm like, she went off and with like a conga line. I'm like, dude, I gotta go sit down. Like I'm actually going to pass out. Like not an exaggeration. I was gonna pass out. So I'm like, dude, I gotta go sit down. I went and sat down like at this bar, and eventually like they started like bringing out water and stuff. I'm like, oh, thank heavens. And but like we were both just like sweaty messes by the end of it. She texted me in the middle. She's like, hey, where'd you go? And I'm like, dude, I'm gonna die if I keep dancing. Like you do your thing, but I got to sit out. And she's like, okay, cool. So that was an experience. I guess I'm glad I had it. It's something different. Did I have fun? Maybe not, but I like this girl, so I was willing to do it. I don't know. Funny experience. So for 2023 Christmas, I got this LED sign, and you can put it in the window of your car, and you can program it to say whatever you want, or like play a little animation and stuff on it. It's like, I don't know, 20 by 100 pixels. Um, and I was on the first floor of my apartment for both semesters in 2024, so I put it in my window, and I would do like a different message every day. And I had so much fun with it. Like I would just play say something funny or play like a dumb animation of like Among Us. Um, it was really fun. I even made I printed out a piece of paper with a QR code on it that said, "Hey, if you want to tell me what to say on this sign, uh, scan this QR code." And it would take you to a Google form I made where you could like tell me stuff to put on it. A few people did, not as many as I was hoping, but I had fun with it, and I put the messages that people sent in. It was really fun. I love doing crap like that. Like it was really funny. Um, but yeah, that was a fun experience. Now that I'm not living in an apartment on the first floor with a lot of foot traffic outside, I guess I'll put it in my car, have fun with that, put funny messages when I drive to Utah or something. I don't know. Oreo had these cookies, Oreo cookies. They were called Space Dunk. They were like vanilla flavored, and they were like blue and pink frosting, and they had pop rocks in them. They were so good. I was crazy about them, and like my mom got me a big box of them. They're like little individually packaged ones, so it's like eating them throughout the semester, and I eventually ran out, and I'm like, dude, no, like I love these things, and I went to look around to buy more. They didn't have them anywhere. Like I couldn't find them anywhere, and so I went online. I went to like Walmart. I went all these retailers. No one had them. I found them on eBay. They're all being sold by scalpers because apparently they didn't make them anymore. And I'm like, dude, this sucks, but I want to have one last one. So I bought a box from a scalper. It was only like $5 for an entire like big box of Oreos. I'm like, you know what, it's worth it. Um, they were like, I think they like just barely expired too. So like I kind of had to be fast with it. Um, but I saved one of them. I told my mom, I'm like, hey, I want you to cast this in resin so I can have it forever. Just like a little resined Oreo, a little space dunk Oreo. And she's still in the process of doing that. Like she has to do it layer by layer. But I don't know. That might never get done, but it is kind of funny. I'm sad to see the space dunk Oreos are gone, but hopefully one day they will return. Um, so my car's Bluetooth just sucked. Like it would go out all the time, and so I would just have nothing to listen to. Um, like I can't use Spotify in it, and so I ended up just listening to the radio, which is the worst. I hate the radio, all garbage. But there was one day I was driving back from Salt Lake City or Pocatello or something. I was flipping through the channels, and there's so many country music stations in Idaho. I didn't realize it. Like last time I listened to the radio was like 10 years ago, like when I actively listened to it sometimes. And I remember there being like two country radio stations. Now like half of them are country. And there was one, and it wasn't country, but it was this Christian station where they would just play Christian music, which is something to behold. Like mega church type music, like I love Jesus. Like I'm not saying that in a mocking way. Like that's literally what the music was. Like all this passionate music about Jesus and stuff. And this channel was terrible. Like I got on, I flipped through, and they're like begging the audience members. They're like, please, we need you to be a hero today and donate a small gift of $100 to our radio station so we can stay funded for the year. We only do this a few times a year. And like I listened to it for like an hour just driving home, and they would just like get more and more desperate. Like they're running out of time, and they're like, okay, we need $1,000 from someone. And like by the end they were asking for like a $10,000 donation, and no one gave it to them. Like surprise surprise, I mean, you're a friggin' radio station in Idaho. um it was so like, it felt so wrong and just gross. It was so weird, but it was hilarious. Like they started playing like the song from Inception, like the super intense song from Inception in the background, and they're like just begging you to donate money. It was really funny. I don't know how else to explain it, but um, I found out that they were looking to hire interns, and I needed an internship. I still kind of need one for to graduate college. So I applied to that stupid radio station. Um, I got rejected. I got a rejection email, unfortunately. But it would have been really funny to go work there. Like, it was such a joke. It would have been such a funny experience to go work there for a semester. Um, we went to me, my sisters, and my mom, and Hayden. He's my cousin. We're good friends, and his wife Sydney. We all went to Cage the Elephant concert, which was really cool. I wasn't really huge into them, but my family really is, and I listened to them a little bit before the concert for a few days. I'm like, yeah, I do like a lot of their music. It was a good time. They also had some rando opening, and then the second opening band was Young the Giants. I didn't really know any other songs, but like one song came on. It was actually the song that was playing when I spun off the road in my car. And I didn't know it was by them, but like the song started playing, and I'm like, wait, I know this song. And then like he started singing it. I'm like, yo, I love this song. Like it was kind of cool. Um, Song's My Body by Young the Giants. Really cool song. It's actually one of my top songs on Spotify for the year. Um, yeah, it was a really cool concert. Um, oh yeah, so I think this is about the summertime. It might have been like the day after I had a competition, and I got a 3x3 blindfolded average of 2 minutes and 41 seconds, which will beat my record of by 20 seconds, um, which was the state record. So I got a new state record. And at the time, I was like, dude, I think this will probably be my last state record ever because I'm slowly losing them all. And better and better people are coming up and stuff. And like, I don't really have a shot at most of them anymore. Um, so I'm like, you know what? It's kind of cool. One last state record for the books. And I'd wanted the sub 3 average for a while, and finally getting it was pretty cool. Um, oh, so I got I talked to this girl for a while. I guess we're still talking. We're friends. But she introduced me to Lethal Company, the game, and me and her and Matt would play it a bunch. And it was really cool. Like it was the first time in a really long time that I've actually gotten into a video game. Like all of 2023, I couldn't really get into any video games. Like not even Tears of the Kingdom or anything. But I got pretty into Lethal Company. I watched like there was just one day where I was just like, dude, like I really like this game. And so like I started watching all these guides and learning like all the tech and all this advanced stuff. I'm still terrible at the game, but I have a lot of knowledge of it, but I can't apply it. So it's kind of funny, but it's a really fun game, and I've enjoyed playing it. But I 3D printed this helmet, and like it's super super clean. Like I had to slice it up into 5 parts and then assemble it and like use like wood filler and sanding and painting and sanding and painting over and over and over. And now it just has like this super nice metallic finish. It looks super clean. I'm really proud of it. But I made the helmet and actually threw together kind of a cosplay for Halloween. I'll talk about that later, but that's kind of cool. Where am I at? I got a list of everything I'm kind of using to keep track of everything. Oh, whoops. I sold my drum set after 11 years of having it. I never really played it, but I just wanted to keep it, like I'm sentimental about stuff. I played percussion from 6th grade all the way through high school. And I made like all my friends through it. I'm bleeding, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, it was a big part of like my academic life, and social life. Like all my friends were from it and stuff. And I had a drum set just because I played percussion and stuff. I wanted it for Christmas one year. My parents got me it, and then I just like never played it. It's kind of hard to want to play it when you live in a house with other people, because like I don't want people to hear me playing, especially when like I'm not practiced, you know. So I never really played it, but I decided, you know what, I just gotta sell it. Like it's taking up space, and if I want another one in the future, I can just buy another one, you know, whatever. Um, but sold it to a cool guy. He had the same set when he was a kid, like same color, same model, everything. Um, he was a really cool guy, and he bought it for him and his son. They came over, they played it. It was pretty cool. Um, they came to check it out originally, and they're like, "Okay, we'll come back in a few days and get it." I'm like, "Okay, cool." So they left, and he accidentally backed into one of our cars on the way out. Like he like bumped it and dented it, and so I felt really bad about that because that was kind of a whole situation. But he still wanted to buy the drum set, so I sold it. I'm sad about it, but you know I can always get another one in the future. That kind of helped fund North American Championships, which was the first giant cubing competition, like national level, that I'd been to in since like I started college. I'd gone every year. I went 2013, skipped 2014, and then went 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And then they didn't have it for 20, and then I don't think they had it for 21. And then they had it in 22, but I skipped it because I was in college. And then they had it 23, and I skipped it because I was in college. And then 24, I'm like, you know what? I gotta go again. Like, I'll figure finances out. I'll figure out a way to fund it. I did. Flew out there with a couple friends. Um, it was really fun. The day before the competition, we went to a theme park, went on a bunch of roller coasters. Um, Hung out with Jack a lot. Jack is a younger cuber from here in Idaho. I think he's like 17, but he's a really cool guy. It was fun hanging out with him, and some of my other friends. Isaac was there, Cade was there, Brock was there. I think that might have been the main boys. Joey was there. But yeah, it was really fun hanging out with them. I got to see a bunch of modders again. I love modding puzzles, but no one in my region really does it, and so I don't really have anyone to connect with for making puzzles. But at North American Champs, you know, there was a bunch of people there who did it. They had like a big table. I didn't really sit at their table because I was with my Utah boys, but you know, I interacted with a few of them. They checked out my 13 by 13 barrel because like none of them had seen it before. Because I hadn't taken it to a giant competition since 2019, you know. But you know, they all thought it was cool. I got to try Jacob. I think his channel's Jacob Cubing or something. Jacob something, but he made a 23 by 23, and I got to try it. Really cool. He actually shared the files with me, so like I could print one, which I do plan on doing eventually. But really cool of him to share that. And really cool to be with modders and look at some crazy puzzles. Like my regular cubing friends don't appreciate stuff like that as much as I do because I'm really into it. But you know, it was cool. I got to see Damien Bias for the first time in a really long time. He's a famous cuber who I actually knew before he got famous. Like we would see each other in cubing videos comment sections, and we'd always like respond to each other, be like, "Hey Damien, hey fake Damien." Like it's kind of funny. Um, but you know, we'd always say hi to each other at like the national competitions, maybe hang out for a couple minutes and stuff. But you know, I hadn't seen him since like 2019 or something. So, uh, saw him again. Took a selfie, talked for a little bit. He gave me a discount. He works at the Cubicle, like the main cube store. And he gave me the Damien discount at the store, which is pretty cool. I felt cool, but cool seeing him again. I think I had pizza like every night. Every night after the competition, I would just walk to Domino's on the way back from the competition, just get Domino's and eat it in the hotel room. One of the nights I like watched The Hangover by myself because I was sharing a room with Isaac, but he was out doing something. I didn't really want to. I just wanted to like go to bed, so I just got pizza, watched The Hangover, and went to bed. um, but then on the last after the last day, we went to the Mall of America before our flight went out. Um, that was pretty cool. They had a freaking theme park in the middle of the mall. Um, and it was so big they would have like multiple of every store. Like I swear there was like three Spencer's stores there, and my friends went into it, so I went into one for the first time. I waited in the front area while my friends went in the back and looked at stuff. Um, I just kind of stood there looking at like backpacks and stuff and waited for them. Um, yeah, it was a really cool mall. I got to ride a SpongeBob roller coaster. That was kind of funny. Um, I think that's everything about with the mall. Um, at the airport, I got a last layer skip, which was my first one in about a year. I'd gotten one September of 2023. I think it was a 699, my second six ever, and still my second of two. Um, but I got one at the airport um, at North American Champs. It was a 766. It was pretty cool because I was sitting with my friend Brock and I just got it. I'm like, yo, I just got a last layer skip. And he's like, whoa. It was pretty cool. Pretty hype. Um, we got trapped at the airport. There was some, I can't remember the exact name of it, but there was some like software issue with some big software that like tons of companies use, like tons of airlines and stuff use. It's like all these computers all over the country were blue screening, and it was like a nightmare for tech people and like IT people and stuff. Um, and so like our flight got delayed and then delayed again and then delayed again and then like I think there was bad weather or something and they delayed it again. Like it was just delayed like five times. We were just stuck at the airport, man. Like we just wanted to go home. Um, it was kind of cool. We ran into cubers everywhere. Like at the Mall of America, we ran into like Stanley Chappell and his posse. And we'd bought in like some goofy looking 4x4 at a store in the mall. We ran into him and he's the 4x4 blindfolded world record holder. So we like had him do it like in the middle of the mall and like all these people were watching. It was really cool. Um, but yeah, we just ran into cubers everywhere. Ran into plenty at the airport and stuff. Um, I saw this YouTuber at the competition who I'd been watching. He's not famous for cubing. Like no one knows he's a cuber really. Um, he's huge. I'm not gonna say who it is. But if you're in the community, the Minecraft speedrunning community, you'll know who I'm talking about. Um, but I've been watching him since like 2015, and I'd watched like almost every video he'd upload, and he was like the goat of Minecraft speedrunning. Like he had held every world record. I think he might be the only person who's ever done that still. Um, he's just the absolute goat. But like, it came out earlier in the year that he had done some pretty terrible things to some girl. So he kind of just got kicked out of the community. He left. Um, it's pretty sad. Like, I'd been watching this guy for a decade, and all of a sudden it was like, oh, he's just like scum. And I was at North American Champs just sitting with my friend Jack, and I look up and I'm just kind of looking around, and like I see I see the guy just sitting there. And I'm like, that's him. And Jack's like, who am I? And I told him, and like, I think he knew who I was talking about because he follows Minecraft speedrunning a little bit, but it was so weird seeing him in person, and he even wore like a Minecraft shirt that he got at an event like a Minecraft event thing in person, blah blah blah. But I don't know. It was just really sad seeing him. Um, but like really weird. I don't know. I just wanted to throw that in. I don't know why, but it was an interesting experience. Um, oh yeah, and then I finished calculus. I got a B, which is a lot better than a D, and I'm happy with a B. I would have liked an A, but like my friend Joey, he already knew calculus and he barely got an A. Like he actually already knew calculus. Like he was just retaking the class, like because they didn't take his credit or something. Like he could have tested out of it, but he just didn't. So he took it again for some reason, but I'm glad he did. He helped me so much. Um, but he got an A just barely. So getting a B, I'm thrilled with that. Like if he barely got an A, then there's no way I would have gotten one. So I felt really proud. It was like my redemption arc. Like 7 years later, you know, I'd failed calculus in high school and I came back and I crushed it and got a B. I don't know, redemption. Um, and then around the summertime, I got back into Pokemon cards. I'm still really into it. But I had like my childhood collection. Um, I don't know what happened. Like one day I was just like, dude, like I Pokemon cards. Like I started just looking at them, and I made a list, kind of like with my other collections of like all the Pokemon cards I want to get. And I don't know if I'll ever finish that collection. Sorry, my throat just keeps drying out. Like my mouth just gets so dry I have to drink something. I'm not used to talking this much. Like I don't talk a lot. I just don't have a lot to say, but I mean for this video I do because I have a year's worth of stuff to talk about. But yeah, I went through and like logged a bunch of my valuable Pokemon cards. I found out like I had a couple crazy ones. Found out the one I had, I pulled this one out of a packet. Like, you know how they have like the little packages of 9 Pokemon cards? My parents bought me one when I was a kid. They probably only bought me like a couple ever. And I pulled this shiny Kyogre. Like, is the coolest card. And so sick. And in like 2014, I traded it to my cousins because I don't know, I wanted to be nice. I traded them for like a Mew because Mew was like my favorite Pokemon at the time. And then they wanted it back, so I just gave it back to them. I didn't get the Kyogre back, but I was like, whatever. I kind of grew out of Pokemon cards, and then on this Pokemon card cake, I found out that card is now worth $600. And I remember asking them a couple years about it. I'm like, hey, do you still have that card? And they're like, oh, we gave it to our little brother, and he like destroyed it. I'm like, cool. That card's gone now. I wouldn't even have sold it. I would have just kept it because it's such a cool card, and it'll probably be worth more in the future. But I like owning like rare stuff and valuable stuff. So I wouldn't have sold it, but it kind of sucked. I also had another one that I traded. I don't know who I traded it to, but it was like a $300 card. But in my collection, I found 2 cards that were worth over $100. But they're in pretty bad condition, and they're worth that much only in good condition. So like they weren't worth as much. But yeah, it was kind of unfortunate. But there was I've bought in so many Pokemon cards on Marketplace this last year. It's been kind of bad. Buying them left and right. My collection's exploded. I've gotten so many more. I got a binder recently. I bought this binder with a bunch of Pokemon cards for $200. And one of the cards goes for like $100 itself, in good condition, and it was in alright condition. So like I sold it to my sister. I gave her a really good deal on it just to be nice. And then there was another card that was worth like $80, and I sold that to Hayden because he liked it. I just wanted to get my money back. and that card's now worth like 115, and I sold it to him like 2 weeks ago, and it was like $80 then. Like, this is fairly recent. But the binder apparently that they were in was like, those new right now go for like $90. But mine was used. It was used, but I kept it. There's also like a graded card. It was like a graded 3, so it wasn't great, but it was like a cool Mewtwo card. So I have that for my collection now. So I got a bunch of cool cards out of that. There's a bunch of other stuff I bought. There was one guy I found. He was in like Jackson or something, and he had this binder full of just insane cards, like so many of them worth like thousands of dollars, and he wanted $400 for the binder. I'm like, dude, I want that. I will come buy it right now. And he's like, all right. So we planned to meet in Rexburg because he was going there to run some errands. So ran up to Rexburg from Idaho Falls, met him. We were looking at the cards, and I'm like, these don't look right. Like, there's something wrong, man. Like, the more I got looking at them, the more sussed out I got. I'm like, dude, I don't think these are legit. Like, I'm so sorry, like, to have wasted your time. And he's like, no, it's all right. Like, I'm like, do you want to, like, go see if we can, like, find someone who can tell if they're real or not? And he's like, yeah, let's do it. So, like, and he didn't have, like, data or a phone plan. Like, he was messaging me. He's like, oh, hey, I'm here, because we met at, like, Walmart, and he was using their Wi-Fi to message me. But I'm like, okay, we'll meet at this place. And I was like giving him directions to get there, because like he kind of had to know how to get there before he left the Walmart, you know, because he didn't have Google Maps or whatever. Eventually, we got to this playing card store place. We get there, and I'm like, hey, do you guys have like Pokemon cards here? And they're like they sold like new packages of them and stuff, but they didn't have like used stuff. And I'm like talking to them, I'm like, do you guys like, could we bring in some cards and like just get your opinion on them? And they're like, we don't have anyone here who really knows anything. We're like, okay. So we went to another place. It was like a gaming store. We got there and we're like, hey, can you take a look at these cards? And the guy's like looking at him. He's like, yeah, I don't think any of these are legit. And me and the dude just like went outside. We like sat on the curb, and I'm like, dude, I'm so sorry. Like, I hate to have wasted your time. And like, he had some cards that he wanted to keep for himself that were like super valuable ones, but apparently those ones were fake too. And I'm like, dude, I'm sorry, like those are fake. Like, this has just been like kind of a bust for both of us. And he's like, yeah, man, it's all right. Like, I didn't know. And I'm like, yeah, it's all good. Like, you know, it just kind of sucked. I'm glad I didn't spend $400 on them. I'm glad I like took a minute and got a second opinion, because I was like really sussed out by him. Let's see. I also did a thing with Pokemon where they have this website where you go in and it like puts Pokemon up each other and against each other in like a bracket, and you pick your favorite ones, and it like goes through over and over, and you like pick your favorites, and then it'll show you like your top favorite Pokemon, and then you can keep doing it to get your second favorite and third favorite and fourth favorite. And I did it until I got like my top 120 Pokemon. And I'd done that back in like 2018. And I went and found that list I made back then and looked at the one now. It was really cool to compare them. Like, I have both lists. I posted them on Twitter. If I ever want to go back and look at them, look at Twitter. I have them there. I deleted Twitter too, but I have that picture there so I can go see it for reference if I ever want to look. Gosh, my throat is just drying out, man. My friend Sam gave me this water bottle. He sent a picture. He had like a box of these water bottles, and he's like, hey, does anyone want one? I'm like, oh yeah, I'll take one. I'm like, I'll take like that one. He's like, oh, there's a checker pattern one of the same one if you want that. I'm like, oh yeah, that'd be cool. So he gives me this water bottle, and it says special edition on it, and like I didn't think of anything of it. My sister's like, you know, that might be worth money, like with the way people are paying for like Stanleys and stuff. So I looked into it, and this water bottle like goes for like $90. And so I messaged Sam. I'm like, hey, I didn't realize this water bottle was worth $90. Do you want it back? Like, I can take like a pink one that isn't special edition. He's like, no, man, it's all yours. So shout out to Sam for the dope water bottle that is apparently worth a lot of money. um, just a random tangent. Um, let's see, Pokemon. Comparing my 2018 to my 2024 favorite Pokemon was pretty cool because like some of them had gone down, some have gone up, and then a bunch of them were new ones that weren't out in 2018. It was kind of cool. Um, um, oh, speaking of Sam, he got married. That was pretty cool. I drove down for his wedding reception and then like his wedding. Um, he invited like our cubing the boys group. We all dressed up. We had matching pink ties and we took a bunch of groomsmen pictures and stuff. Um, with like cubes and stuff. It was pretty fun. Um, it was cool. Like his groomsmen group was literally just our cubing group. Like it was so cool. Um, but yeah, congratulations to him for getting married. That's cool. Um, uh, made the Lethal Company helmet. I guess I already said that. I also got a 3D printed Master Sword from Zelda. I was going to print my own and make it, but then like I found one on Marketplace where a guy had printed out the parts, and you just need to glue them together, sand them, fill them, do all this crap, paint them. Which this helmet took forever to make. The sword will take probably longer because I think it has like more surface area, and his printer was not as good as mine, so there'll be a lot more sanding. I glued them all together, but I haven't really sanded it or anything yet. I still have it just sitting in the basement. I'm gonna try and have my mom put resin on it, so I have like a layer of resin to kind of smooth it out, and so I can sand it a lot quicker. But yeah, I got this Master Sword just off Marketplace, and he sold it for like $8, which was probably less than the amount it costed for the filament to make it. So rather than print my own, I just got a cheap one. My mom ended up having to meet him at like 1 a.m. in some parking lot to buy it. Or no, I went to meet him at like 1 or 2 in the morning, but like he just like ghosted me. It was like cool, so I left. It was in Utah, so I'm only there like once every few weeks, so like I couldn't really wait around for him. I had to go home. It was 2 in the morning. Um, and then my mom got in touch with him a few weeks later and got it. So shout out to my mom. Um, so there was a video game, a retro game expo in Layton um, that Hayden goes to every year, and he gets like a booth and sells stuff. So I went and hung out with him and his brother and his wife, and we ran the booth for 2 days. That was super fun going around and just seeing all this crazy retro gaming stuff for 2 days, and we sold so much stuff. Like it was crazy. We were just selling stuff constantly. Um, but yeah, there's a bunch of really cool stuff there. I brought my Pokemon card collection because there's a bunch of people like selling and trading Pokemon cards. I tried to trade my two cards that at the time I thought they'd both be worth closer to $100, but apparently in the condition they were in, they're only worth about half that much. So I tried to find someone to trade to get like a super valuable card that I wanted, but no one was really down to trade. So, it is what it is. Like, they don't seem like the people who are collecting Pokemon cards for fun. They just seem like they're in it for a profit. Like only positive trades, only whatever. But that's their thing. Um, let's see. They had an auction at the end of it where they would just auction off a bunch of retro stuff, and that was kind of cool. I won a couple of things. I won a signed. It's like a big banner. Of one of they had like some booths with like voice actors there from stuff, and there's a banner of like him and a bunch of the characters he played on it, and like he'd signed it and stuff. He'd voiced some people in like Breath of the Wild and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which is my favorite manga and second favorite TV show, and then some characters in Hunter x Hunter, which is my favorite TV show, and like Street Fighter, I think, and a few other things. Just like this guy's just in all this cool stuff I like. Um, I think he was one of the voices for Brock in the Pokemon anime, which is insane. Um, he charged Hayden $30 to sign his Pokemon card with Brock on it. Like he just wanted him to sign it because it'd be cool, but the dude charged him $30 to do it. And I won the banner for $35, so I got his signature on a giant banner. I can't even put it up anywhere because it's like 10 feet long by 3 feet wide or something crazy. So I don't have anywhere to put it, but I have this giant banner, which is pretty cool. But that's about it for the Game Expo. It was really cool. Probably gonna go do it again next year. I think it'd be cool if I like 3D printed a bunch of Nintendo stuff because I could make bank. You know, like if I just sold some stuff at Hayden's booth, that'd be pretty cool. But I don't know, maybe. Oh yeah, and then over the summer, me and my dad wrapped a second sled. This one was like a blue and pink holographic skulls and stuff machine. I like this wrap a lot better than the first one. First one was still cool, but the second one I liked a lot better. And this time around we were much less like slow and steady. We were just like the first time we were like putting application tape like on it and like getting it all right and like being super careful with everything. The second time we're just like taking the stickers off and just slapping them on. If it didn't look right, we'd pull it off and put it back on over and over until it was right. And like I don't know, it was just really funny compared to the first time. Like we just did it much faster. But yeah, we did it again in the basement. Spent some late nights working on it. It was kind of fun to do something like that with my dad. So now he has the two wrapped sleds, and usually when we go sledding, it's me and him, and then we go with like my uncle, who has his own stuff. So me and my dad ride the two wrapped ones, which is really cool. We actually got a picture of me doing like a little jump. So like it's me in the air, like at a 45-degree angle, like on the machine, the wrapped one, the first one. And my mom painted an oil painting of that picture. So like we have an oil painting of me on the sled. It's so cool. I'm like so happy with it. But it's like with the wrap sled and everything, so it's like super cool. But yeah, we wrapped another sled, and then Donald Trump almost got assassinated. That was an event. I was driving home from something, and Matt texted me. He's like, "Yo, like, you hear what happened to Trump like just now?" And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Oh, like, they said he was at like a thing, and he like fell over, and like he had like blood on his hands. Like, made it sound like he fell and hit his head or something." And then like I got back to my apartment like 5 minutes later. I started checking the news, and like these videos were like popping up as I was looking. And, like, yeah, he didn't fall, dude. He like ducked because someone like shot at him, which is crazy. That was a historical event that I was alive for. Um, I don't know. Crazy. I'm not making a political statement here. I decided that I decided this year that I think politics are stupid, and I don't want to affiliate with either party. Like, I will admit I do agree with right wing stuff more than left, I think, but I still agree with stuff from both sides, and I think it's a lot less black and white than people make it out to be. So, like, even for this last election, I didn't vote. I don't want to. I don't want to play in that. I think it's a waste of my time, and I don't want to care about it, you know? Leave that to the people who care about it. Leave me out of it. All, like I said, this isn't a political statement. I just wanted to say that it was crazy that President-elect and I guess the new president again almost got shot. I guess he did get shot, but like almost died in front of a crowd of people. which I guess has happened before, but I wasn't alive for it. Um, oh yeah, and then Mr. Beast had his big drama. I mean, this really isn't something worth mentioning, but it felt kind of personal because like I'd been watching every video of his since he had like 1 million subscribers, and now he has like 350 million. So like I've been there for a long time. Like I watched him before he gave out money for videos and stuff, and like he was just like my favorite dude. Like I loved his videos and stuff, and then like all this stuff just coming out about like, oh, like he might not be a great person. He did disprove a lot of it, but like still a lot of the stuff that came out like that he didn't disprove that is like for fact is just like a bunch of scummy practices. And I don't know, it just made me realize like, dude, he's like, I thought he was such a good person. I thought he was different from everyone. Like he was like an actual just like saint, but nope. He's just another dude who wants money. Like he's not. I don't think he's evil, but like he just does a lot of scummy stuff, and I think he's kind of fake. But yeah, it made me kind of just reevaluate. Like celebrities are all just like scummy people. Maybe there are a few good ones, but like you never know. I don't know. I don't know why I wanted to mention this, but this is my video. I can talk about whatever I want. um, but yeah, the downfall of Mr. Beast, incredible. Um, oh, so I got into one-handed a little bit this year. 3x3 with one hand. There's like this new cube that came out that was really good for one-handed, and it kind of got me into it. And practiced a bit, and I'm like, you know what? I wanna get a sub 20 average, and I did, and officially. And I got a sub 15 single, which my previous PB single was from like 2019, and it was a 16 that I got, and I'd only had like one other 16 ever at the time, I think, maybe two. And I got a 16 in competition. I'm like, dude, I'm never beating this. Like, this is so good. But like it felt really undeserved. But the 14, it felt more deserved than the 16, and I didn't think I'd ever beat the 16. So it was really cool to get a 14 one-handed single. It's pretty cool. I kind of stopped practicing after that, like getting the sub 20 average and the sub 15 single. But yeah, whatever. It's cool. I'm gonna cut the video here. I already this is the second session filming this. Like I filmed the first 16 minutes and then I cut, and then this is like 2 days later. I'm filming this part. I'm gonna cut now. Film the rest later, because it's midnight and I want to go to bed. I gotta be up early tomorrow, so we'll continue later. But yeah, bye. See you in a second. Bro, check out what I got. I found it on AliExpress. Normally those go for like $300, but I found it for $80. So I kind of had to, like, like look at this. It's a regular 3x3. Oh wait, you can't see it. Anyways, I just wanted to show that off. Okay, so where were we? Okay, so I don't know how much I talked about it earlier, but last year I had that mouth guard for most of the year, and that was the worst. Just mentally, it was just so embarrassing having a lisp and stuff. And I mean, they said I would learn how to talk with it and talk normally, but I never did. Even after 10 months or however long it was I had it. Um, but yeah, I finished with that, and it didn't really help. Um, my jaw still pops, and I still have migraine. Um, so that was a big waste of time. And to top it all off, it made my teeth and jaw just so fricked up. Like the guy's like, "Oh yeah, you have to get braces now." Like he said that might be a possibility when I first started. So like it didn't catch me off guard, but yeah, I had to go get braces. And like I'm watching myself talk in this video, and it's like bothering me because like it it keeps making it look like I just have like a single front tooth. Like you see how much lower this one is? It's like all lopsided and crap, but I've had that for a few months. Before my teeth wouldn't even touch. Like now they almost do. Um, so it's almost back to normal. But yeah, braces are so much better than a mouth guard. Like I don't even care that I have braces. Most people are like, "Oh, you have braces? I'm sorry, that sucks." I'm like, dude, no, I'm thrilled. um, but yeah, I'm hoping that like fixes my. I'm not expecting it to fix my jaw and everything. I expect that to always be freaked up because the guy told me that it was fixed and that I was better, and I was like, "Dog, it's not better though. Like it's still popping. Nothing's changed." And he's like, "No, but like, see, look." And long story. He tried to uh, gaslight me or something. I don't know. I think he was just overconfident in himself. But yeah, I plan on once I finish with the braces, if like everything hasn't magically been fixed, I'm just gonna. I want to do something to get back at him. I know that's petty, but like, dude wasted a lot of money and a lot of our time, and nothing came of it. I don't know. I don't want to talk too much about it, like what I plan on doing, but I want to make things difficult for him. It probably won't be able to, like I'm just a random dude and I can't really do much, but I don't know. I just have a lot of anger towards it. Um, but moving on. The takeaway from all that is I have braces now, and I'll probably finish with them in the summer or beginning of fall, probably, and then I will just have normal teeth again. Um, okay, so this year I kind of figured out what like my big goal in life is. I like previously it was like, oh yeah, I want to like get married and stuff, but like I don't know if that'll happen. And like I said earlier, I'm not like heartbroken over it. Things will play out the way they play out. But one thing I do think I can control and that I can do if I really want to put everything into it is own a house. Um, Probably one of the worst times in history to have that goal, but freaking dog, I want a house. Like, I don't know. I feel like with my career path, as long as I'm like able to find a good job, um, it'll be able to happen. Like I have my entire life to work on that, and my hobbies aren't incredibly expensive. Um, you know, so I think it's possible. And I don't know. That'd be cool to one day have, but we shall see. Um, I had my last semester in Rexburg, so I'm done with Rexburg now. I finished that in December, and now I'm back in Idaho Falls, and I'm doing one class. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but I'm doing one more class right now, and it's basically a class for if you've applied to 100 internships and you haven't gotten one yet, then like they give you this class to kind of work as an internship. Um, so I just started that a week ago. Um, but yeah, I'm in Idaho Falls, and it's kind of crazy. Like I don't really know what's gonna happen in April. Like once April rolls around, I'll be done with college and I'll have a bachelor's degree, which is kind of surreal. Like I don't know. I've been working on it for so long, and then like suddenly it's just gonna happen, and like life is just gonna change like super quick and super dramatically. I've been working the same job for like 7 years now. So I'm not gonna be doing that anymore. I'm not gonna be a janitor anymore. Like that's weird. I'm gonna be doing computer stuff hopefully, if I can find a job. Um, but yeah, I'm done with Rexburg, and I'm happy about it. I definitely will miss being a student and living with friends, but like I haven't lived with friends in years now. I've just lived with weird roommates and stuff, so uh, I already missed that. But I am so ready to make money. I know it's kind of shallow, but dog, I just want some money, man. Like it would be nice. I'm tired of being a broke college student, but as fun as college is, and I will definitely miss it. Um, oh yeah, so on my last semester, I worked on my senior project. I did a Rubik's Cube simulator. I spent about 100 hours on it, and I programmed in a game engine a Rubik's Cube. I programmed all the turns, all the rotations, everything it could do. I programmed, and I could have done the. I could have saved like 50 hours on the project if I would have just like figured out how to do something the first time. Like I spent half my project, probably maybe more, just trying to troubleshoot one thing and trying to get it to work. I would get somewhere, and then I'd have to backtrack because it just wasn't going to work, and then I'd get somewhere and I'd have to backtrack, and I'd just keep going, trying different ways, and I finally it just clicked. I'm like, oh wait, I could just do this, and then I was able to just bust out the rest of the project. And it had to be like educational or something, so it's like a software where it shows you like a simulation of a Rubik's Cube doing an algorithm, and basically it has all the algorithms you need to solve it, and it simulates doing them. So basically, you can just visually watch what the algorithms look like. And that's what I did for the project. I thought it was pretty cool. My teacher said he'd never seen anything like it, so that's pretty cool. Um, but that was most of what I did for my last semester. Like I was taking three classes. One was a religion class, so I mean I didn't really have homework for that. The other one was one with the stupid teacher where it's not even like a real class. He just wastes your time. You basically just show up for class and just sit there and wait for it to be over. So it was almost like that was the only class I was doing. So it had my full focus. Um, so I did have a bit of free time. Um, oh, dude, I was streaming. I streamed a lot of making the project. Like I would just stream myself coding and stuff. No one really watched it because it's just me like talking to myself and just staring at my screen for like 2 hours at a time. Um, but the goofiest thing happened. Like one day I posted, I made a highlight of it and put it on Instagram, so I have a clip of it. But like right as I hit the start stream button, like these girls were outside my window because I'm on the first floor, and they like had like a plate of cookies, and they like held it out and like pointed at it like, "Yo, do you want a cookie?" And like I just looked at them. I'm like, so I opened the window, and they're like, "Hey, do you know where this apartment is?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's over there." And they gave me a cookie. So on stream, like these people just came up to me and gave me a cookie. I thought it was the funniest thing ever. Um, But I think they mainly just did it so I could tell them like they're like, oh, we can give this guy a cookie, and that'll break the ice for us to ask him where this apartment is. Like they definitely weren't like seeking me out. It kind of just happened, you know. But that was really funny, and I'm glad I got a video of it because that's just like the funniest thing. Um, oh, dude, I had my 100th competition this year. My 100th speed cubing competition. It was in Rexburg. Um, I can't remember if we did something for it. I don't think so. I remember for Isaac's we had it at the same venue. It was earlier in the year. It was his 100th, and like he went and got a cake at lunch, and we all had cake and pizza and stuff. It was awesome. Um, but yeah, I had mine later in the year. Um, it was kind of funny because we both had it in like the same venue. But like it was in Idaho, so I had a lot of my Idaho friends there and stuff. Um, yeah, crazy that I've been to 100. Been going to them for over 10 years now. My first one was in the middle of 2013, but I didn't compete, so I don't really know if you can count it. And then I had one at the end of 2014 where I actually did compete. And since then, I've been going consistently, besides like COVID, you know. But now I think I'm at like 104, 105 competitions. That's pretty wild. I don't know if I ever thought I would get to that many, but you know, here I am, 25 and still going at it. Um, I might have already talked about this earlier, so I'll be brief, but um, I found a guy on Marketplace selling. I know I did mention this before in this video, but this is like the third session of recording this, and it's been several days in between each session, so I don't really remember it super well. But I found a dude who had um, volumes 32 through 36 of Hunter x Hunter, and the show covers volumes 1 through 31. So basically, this is the first 5 volumes after the show, and yeah, I know I talked about this, so like, but it was cool to read through it all, and I'm not quite caught up because there's 37, which I actually just ordered, so I'll be reading that soon. And then 38 is like out in Japanese but not English yet. And then there's like a couple chapters he's written after that. So like I'm close to being caught up to where the author is. Um Unfortunately, I think it was this year, earlier this year, he did a thing where he's like, "Yo, in case I don't finish the series before I die, which is very likely at this point," he's like, uh, "This will be the canon ending if I die before finishing it." So he like put out like a little chapter that kind of had the protagonist just like being old, and that was about it. But yeah, I hope the story gets like finished, but it's not looking too likely. The guy's getting old and has a lot of back problems. Represent. Oh shoot, my webcam died. Oh, we're back. Okay, I don't know what's going on. My phone like has done that a few times. Another cool thing I found on Marketplace was a Minecraft creeper fridge. My friend sent me it, and he's like, "Dude, it feels wrong for you to not have this." And so I'm like, "Yeah, I gotta buy it." So, uh, the guy wanted 35 for it, but someone was already buying it. He's like, "Oh, sorry, someone's already getting it." I'm like, "How about 40?" And he's like, "Okay." So I met him at the mall and got it, and I just put it in the living room of my apartment, and it's just like a like a 3 foot tall fridge that's really tiny. Can hold like the body of it could hold like this water bottle, and the head can hold like a couple Capri Suns. So I really just put it in the living room of my apartment, and like it had a green light under it, so it, like had like a little glow. And someone like we had a whiteboard on the wall of our apartment, and like me and my roommates never talked to each other really. Like it was just not something that happened. But one of them wrote like, "Hey, I like your creeper fridge" on the whiteboard. It was kind of funny. Um, oh yeah, so I don't know if the webcam's flickering for you guys, but it is for me. Imagine Dragons has been my favorite band for like 10 years now. And they released a new album. I think it's like album number 6 or 7. It depends how you count it this year. And I remember like first listening to it while playing Lethal Company, and I was just like, dog, this isn't good. Like, I hate this. Like, this sucks. And that happens a lot with their music. Like, when I first hear it, I'm not a huge fan, and then it just grows on me. And it always happens every time. Some of the songs I haven't really grown to like, but like a lot of them I wasn't really a fan of, or I just didn't care for in the beginning. But then like they really grew on me. Like a lot of my favorite ones of theirs, I just didn't notice when I first heard them. Now I'm like, wait, that's like really good. But that kind of happened with the album. Like I went, I kept listening to it, and then like I'm like, and then like a lot of them really grew on me. So it was a really small album. I think it was like 9 songs or something. But I do like most of them. There's like one or two that I'm like, eh. But the rest of them are pretty good. And they had a concert. They're doing tour, and so me, Talia, Aaliyah, my mom, and then Hayden and Sydney again came into it. That was a really fun concert. Their concerts are awesome. I really like them as a band, and Dan Reynolds is awesome. So, uh, really fun time there. Um, I also made like a spreadsheet for keeping all my videos and pictures because my phone has officially gotten to like if you look at the years over the years how many pictures and videos I've taken, it's like a little bit, a little bit, a little bit, and then around like 2021 it just exploded. It's like 10 times higher than 2020, and it's just gotten exponentially more since then. So like my phone has like over 100 gigs of videos and pictures, and I realize I can't really keep them all forever, and it's too many to look at. Like when I'm like 40, can you imagine how much stuff I'm gonna have? So I just decided like stuff I want to save is gonna be like either I'll either put it on YouTube or like an Instagram story because I highlight my stories there, or I'll put it on the spreadsheet. So I made a spreadsheet where I have links to all my Google Drives on all my emails. There's like family trip pictures and videos, and then concerts, and then like whatever other stuff I want to save. But most of it is just like concerts and family trips. So those are the things I do want to keep and remember. So it was cool to do that, and finally have a place for everything. Um, so yeah, I went to another Boise competition with Cade and Brendan Robinson. Brendan is now a WCA delegate for Idaho. It's cool because we had like one Idaho delegate who was kind of like in Boise, and then like he went back to Sweden or something, and so then we didn't have one. But like basically we've never really had an Idaho delegate over here. But Brendan finally became one, and he he's been coming to a lot of the comps. Me, him, and Cade have been working on them in like Boise and Idaho Falls and all like East Idaho and then like Boise. So we did go to a few Boise ones, and the last one we went to, we did this bit where I we filmed this video. I think it's on my YouTube channel, my cubing channel, but it's like they open the fridge and I'm just in the fridge solving a cube, and I just like walk out, grab the fridge, pull it away from the wall, and then like look around it, and there's a square one on the corner in the floor, like in the very corner behind the fridge, and I just like go like and point at it. It was so funny. Like we thought we were gonna burst out laughing like when we filmed it, but we got it first try. I somehow didn't laugh. It was so funny though. We were dying watching the video once like we filmed it. Um, and then now where am I at? What was it? What was I? Oh yeah. So then that night was the time change for daylight savings. So when the clock gets to 2 a.m., it jumps back to 1 a.m. and then continues. So you get an extra hour of sleep. So I set an alarm for right before to do a negative time solve where every year you solve a Rubik's Cube And during the solve, if you're in the middle of the solve when the time goes back, then you can count it as a negative solve, so like negative 59 minutes and 50 seconds, you know. So I did it again, and I got a 12-second one again. I think that's what I got last year, which isn't great, but dude, I was feeling so scuffed. Like I just woke up in the middle of the night. I'm like, ugh. I'm like in the hotel room trying not to make too much noise to wake Kate and Brendan up, which I don't think I did, but it's kind of funny. I filmed that, but I'm not saving the video because it wasn't a good time. Ever since I got the 8-second one and then it was at the wrong 2 a.m., I've just never been able to get a good one. I'm so mad because I'm never going to get an 8-second solve at 2 in the morning again, first try, you know? That's never going to happen again. I got it at the wrong time, so, like, it doesn't count. And that's super unfortunate, but, you know. Hopefully one of these years I'll get it before they stop doing daylight savings time, which they always say is going to happen every year, but then it never does. I don't know. Then around Thanksgiving, which is around where we're at in the year, Matt, my best friend, moved away. So he's gone now. He's back in Arkansas. He got a position in IT at this company. His dad is like head of IT at or something. But really happy for him because he's getting paid a lot better than he was at the hospital. But sucks because he's gone and he's my best friend. You know, he's really the only person I would hang out with like consistently. You know, but he came and spent Thanksgiving with us one more time. And then, you know, after Thanksgiving, you know, he got in his car and got his cat and drove away. Um, but yeah, we'll definitely see each other again. But who knows how long it'll be? You know, it's the way it works out. People go places, stuff happens. But I helped him move out of his apartment, and like he gave me a bunch of stuff because he was packing everything in his sedan car, and like I have like a 40-inch and a 30-inch monitor here just in my room. I don't know what to do with that he gave me because he was just gonna like throw them away. I got this super nice desk set up here. It's like a corner desk. So like there's a wall. There's like a wall here and then a wall over here, and the desk like is like two of them that goes together. You know. And then it's got like another tier up here. Like you can kind of see it right here. Like there's like a shelf up here that goes all the way around. Got Roy up here. Goes all the way around. And it's super nice. I love this desk. He just gave it to me because he was just gonna throw it away. Gave me a bunch of other stuff, but very cool of him. I'm also glad he got out of his apartment. He lived with a 55-year-old man who was a hoarder and very weird. So it was like every time I went over to his apartment, I'm just like, dude, you live like this? I'm so sorry. He lived with him for a while. But yeah, everything's going up for him, and I'm very happy for him. Let's see. Oh, so I missed my first competition for being sick. I've only missed, out of all these years, all the Utah and Idaho competitions, I missed one in Montana because I got a concussion, like a couple days before, and I decided not to go. And then there was, I never went to like the northern Idaho ones, but I've been to like all the Boise ones, all the East Idaho and Rexburg and Pocatello, but there was one Idaho one I missed because I had a prior engagement that I had to go to, which I really didn't want to, but I said I'd do something, and so I kind of had to, for a few days. So I missed that one, and then there was maybe one Utah one I missed for something. I can't remember why. But I think there was a Utah one I missed. And then there was like one FMC one on Thanksgiving I didn't go to because it was Thanksgiving. But I finally had my first one where I didn't go because I was just sick. It's like 2 months ago. I got pretty sick. It was going to be like my 101st competition, but didn't get to go. Unfortunate, but it's one competition. It'll be fine. Like I just don't like missing them. I have the fear of missing out. Like what if they get a four mover on 2x2 and I wasn't there? I'm so overdue for a four mover. Um, Echoes of Wisdom came out, the new Zelda game where you play as Zelda. Um, I got pretty into that when I was at school. I 100%ed it, which is the first game I've 100%ed in quite a while. I think it's been years now since I've 100%ed something. Um, I really thought I was going to 100% Tears of the Kingdom. I'm still halfway through the game. I haven't touched it like at all in 2024, but I 100%ed a different Zelda game. um, I was talking to another girl, um, and she was like a gamer, um, and she talked me into playing Fortnite with her and her squad, and I've never played Fortnite before, and I always talk crap on it because it's stupid. But I was like, frick it, I'll play this one time. And we played. Um, Dude, it, it's a weird game. Like we went to in the middle of the battle royale. We went to Snoop Dogg's house and killed Snoop Dogg, and then he joined our team and he started I think he started shooting like a money gun or something, and then he gave me a hug. And then he joined our team. Oh yeah, and then he turned into a dog, like a literal dog, and like ran around shooting people with us. Very interesting game. They have everything in it except for Minecraft and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. um, so I have this tradition where Summoning Salt makes videos about once every month or two, and that's about how often I go to Utah for a Utah competition. So I always watch his newest video, or I listen to it on the drive back from Utah. Um, it's really nice. I love listening to his videos because you don't really have to watch them. You can just listen to them, and they work pretty well that way. Um, and I think he might be my favorite YouTuber now. Now that like PewDiePie's retired. I don't know. His videos are just super good. He had one that talked about Tetris. I don't know if it was in 2024 where the kid got he was the first person to beat Tetris because he got so far that the game just crashed. Um, and Summoning Salt kind of talked about the history of that, and then like getting to where they're at now. And apparently like there was like a push to get to the final level. I think it's level 256, and then the game just resets because you've gone so far that the game just resets to level 1, and no one had done that yet. And the crash happened for the kid at like level 150 or 60, and 256 is 100 levels further than that. And at like level 230, the level is like 80 times as long as a normal level, so that's like 80 more levels on top. And like the colors go weird in some levels where like you can barely see them. I don't know, it was a really really cool video. He talked about all the history, and he talked about how one guy like got kind of close to getting they call it the rebirth, where you get the game to restart. And I was like, dang dude, I kind of want to like follow that and see when someone gets that, because like I'd watched the video really late. He uploaded the video I think like early in 2024, and I watched it late in 2024. um, And then like a few weeks later, I'm like, I wonder if anyone's done it. And I checked. I'm like, someone had just done it like a month earlier. I'm like, whoa. So that had been done. So like really, there's nothing. There's no big goal left in Tetris. Like everything's been done, kind of. Um, but really cool. Uh, I wish I could have followed that community for that journey because like it was a really interesting story. How they like came up with methods to play levels that were like deemed impossible. Like the levels were programmed to just make you lose instantly, but they found a way to play it for hours, which is insane. Such a cool uh, journey and stuff. But yeah, I wasn't a part of it. I just thought it was really cool. I wanted to talk about it. Um, and then I think my last competition of the year was a quiet comp in Lehi, Utah, where they did just the quiet events like FMC and then blindfolded events. And I didn't do five blind because I promised I'm never doing five blind again, and I'm sticking to that. Um, but it was a state record still because no one else had done one. But then my friend Logan finally got one. He finally got a five blind success. So I don't have that state record anymore, which is kind of crazy because I'm running out of state records. Soon they'll all be gone except for feet single because that event was deleted 5 years ago. And so I will have that record forever unless someone moves here with a faster single. But so I lost a five blind record, which left me with just the FMC single, which isn't good. I don't even know how to do FMC. Once someone learns how to do it and takes it the tiniest bit seriously, I'll lose that one. But he took that state record, and then I got the FMC average, which was kind of fun because I didn't think I was going to get another state record. Like I said earlier, when I got the three blind mean, I didn't think I was going to get another one, but I got the FMC mean. I also lost the three blind mean one earlier, so like I was down to two, and then Logan took five blind, and then I got FMC mean. So now I have the two state records for my least favorite event, which is kind of funny. I have the FMC single and mean, which is weird that I have both of them considering it's the worst event. But like I said, soon as someone takes the event seriously, I'll lose both of those, and then I'll just have the feet one, which is fine. You know, I'm washed. You know, like the kids are so good now, it's insane. But you know, I had my fair share of records back in the day. I didn't talk about this in last year's video because I kind of forgot to, but I started this tradition at the end of 2023 where I decided on the last day of school every year I was just going to go to school in a t-shirt and shorts in the middle of December. So I did it in 2023, and like people were just like, "What, are you cold?" I'm like, "Yeah." But as I was walking out of the building, like this one girl just points at me and like just points at like, "What are you doing?" And I just like looked at her and just go, and then just kept walking, which was hilarious. And so I decided to do it again this year, and I guess it was my last time doing it for 2024 because I'm done with college. But it definitely wasn't as cold as the year before, and no one said anything, so it was kind of lame. But you know, I did it for the plot, I guess. Oh, dude, I forgot to talk about it. I wore my Lethal Company outfit to school, the whole suit and everything, like with the helmet. Um, uh, I wore that to class. I rode my scooter with the helmet on. Got to class, and like everyone was looking at me as I was walking through the foyer to my classroom, and it was so funny. Like it was, I don't know. It was fun. Um, But I wasn't the only person who dressed up for Halloween that year. One of the guys in my class dressed up as a pizza man. He wore like a Domino's uniform. But the year before, I wore an axolotl onesie to class on Halloween, and no one else dressed up. So I felt kind of stupid because no one else dressed up. But at least this year, someone did. It was kind of fun. And then I guess we kind of have this family tradition now where on Christmas break we watch every Spider-Man movie. So we did that again. Um, Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies, really good, really solid movies. The music and everything's awesome. Um, and it's also awesome seeing No Way Home again. I love Toby and Andrew. Um, Tom Holland, I'm not really a fan of. Not that like he's a bad actor. He's a good actor and he doesn't do anything wrong. But like I just don't feel like he's a great fit for Spider-Man. And I don't like the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like I just want Spider-Man, you know. But it's fun watching those again. I look forward to doing it again next year. Um, oh, so I started a new Minecraft world, and it's in beta. Um, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start in beta Minecraft, and then get every single achievement in the game possible. And then once I have them all, I'll update it till the next version that has new achievements, and then I'll get all of those. And then I'll update to the next version that has new achievements and get all those, and just keep doing it until I'm at the modern version and I've done every achievement across every version. Um, but I've finished all the ones for beta. I'm still editing. I'm making a video out of it too. So I'm working on editing that, and then I'll start working on. I think I'll play version 1.0, which is where you can actually beat the game. Um, but yeah, I'm kind of excited about that. I like playing Minecraft and starting a new world is always fun. And like this one, I have like a set path and goal that I'm going for, so it's not just like aimlessly trying to find stuff to do. You know, like I have a set thing I know that I'm doing, and hopefully the video's good. I'm not making it to get views. I'm really just making it for myself because I really do go back and watch my videos. Like it's almost like they're just there for me now. I genuinely enjoy some of my newer videos and stuff. Um, we started so for Christmas break through like New Year's we had family over, and my grandma gave us all puzzles, and so we did my puzzle, like me and a couple of the cousins, and we just knocked it out really fast. And then we did another puzzle that was bigger. Like mine was 500 pieces. We did that one, and then we got out one that was 1,000 pieces, and we did that one. And then we were looking at other puzzles, and I have this one that's 3,000 pieces, that I got from an ex girlfriend in for Christmas in like 2018. And I remember when we first got it, me and Aaliyah were like, yeah, let's do this. And we like opened the box and poured all the pieces out, and we just looked at it and we're like, no, no, we're not doing this. Like, it's bad. It is a hard puzzle, and it's 3,000 pieces. Um, but my cousin was like, dude, let's do that one. And I'm like, dude, we're not going to be able to do that. She's like, nah, let's do it. So, like, we go down in the basement. We have this big table. We just pour down. There's just a massive pile of pieces. Then we just start flipping them over, and like next thing you know, we've been down there for like 4 hours, and like a bunch of the cousins are like in a big circle around the table, and we're all just like going crazy on it. And they were there in town with us for a few days, and we just worked on it like crazy. Probably put like 40 hours into it through all of us over those couple of days, and I'd say we got most of the puzzle done, but the last part is hard. Like, it's got this big border around it, and then it's like two globes, like two circles that are like each one half of the earth, and they're just blue and green, and they are nightmares. Like, we got everything and then a little bit of the globes, but like right now they're all gone. So I'm working on it on my own, and I've just been cracking at it, a little bit every day. I'm still doing it right now. My parents actually worked on it for like an hour with me earlier tonight, so I'd say we have like 300 pieces left, but they're the hardest pieces. Like it's super trial and error heavy. But yeah, like once we finish, it's gonna be the best feeling in the world. Like, dog, I did that like 3,000 piece puzzle. I did it. Like, I did not think we were gonna be able to do it, but my one cousin was like, "Dude, let's do it." And I'm like, "Okay, sure." But yeah, like that's kind of crazy. Um, oh, so I haven't mentioned it yet, but my top Spotify song of the year was Freebird. I decided like January 10th last year. I'm like, you know what? I want Freebird to be my top song of the year. So like I just listened to it a bunch and I counted and I was like, I think I've listened to it 188 times, and then like the Spotify Wrapped came out and it was 187. So I counted every time I listened to it. I was only off by one. Um, but every time I'd listen to it, I like once it started, I would talk to myself. I'd go, "Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mambo number 5." And then like the fifth time I listened to it, and then the sixth time I'd be like, "Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mambo number 6." And I did that every time for 187 times. Um, which is funny because the year before, my top song I'd listened to like 50 times, and then this year it was 188. And my top song from 2023 or 2022 was my second top song in 23, and then my second song again for 2024. So if I didn't have the Freebird goal, that song would have been my top song again. So it's been in like my top 2 for the last 3 years. It's kind of funny, but it might be my top song for 2025. Who knows? Um, and then we were working on the puzzle as it went over to the new year. Um, but I timed Freebird perfectly. Like I started it at 11:55 p.m. and 5 seconds. So right at midnight, the guitar solo would start. It was pretty fun. We were just like doing the puzzle, jamming out to Freebird. But next year, I found a meme where it was like, if you start Kung Fu Panda 2 at this time on New Year's Eve, then right at midnight he will go skadoosh. And I'm like, I want to do that next year. So hopefully I'll remember to do that and I can do that next time. Um, but yeah, that wraps up everything. I've gone through the entire list and talked about everything. There's a few things I wanted to mention, like going into 2025. Um, One of those being my current anxiety about the future, uh, mostly around jobs. Everyone for years is like, dude, you got to do like programming, computer programming. Like, everyone needs programmers. That we need so many programmers, and like, you'll be able to make so much money. And like, so I'm like, okay, like I guess I'll do that. Like I decided to major in it because my mom was like, you should do that. I'm like, okay, and then I just stuck with it. Like, I don't think it was what I was born to do, but I'm able to do it, and it's enjoyable. Um, I think I was born to do like graphic design, but that's a lot more risky and doesn't pay as well. So I'm happy with my decision, but you know, all those years of people saying we need so many computer scientists, like people listened and people started majoring in it, and now there are too many, and so finding a job is so hard. Um, I've commented on YouTube videos like that are like memes about it, like how hard it is to get a job in computer science fields right now, and I'd be like, dude, like I'm a senior in college and I can't even get an interview for an unpaid internship. And all these people are like responding, and they're like, "Yeah, dude, me too. Like, it's cooked here in India. It's cooked here in this country. Like, we're all just cooked." Um, so I've been having a lot of anxiety about that. I've heard of people who like weren't even able to get a job for like a year out of college, and like then they finally get a job, and it's like a super low paying one. Um, so I've had a lot of anxiety about that. Um, I think once I'm able to land a job, if I'm able to land a job, then like it'll be a lot less stress. Like I'm doing well, but there is a lot of stress about that. Um, a lot of I don't know if it's imposter syndrome or if I'm genuinely just bad at it and not like I know I'm not gifted in that area. Like I guess I'm more than the average person. Like I'm better at picking up programming stuff than the average person, but compared to the other people who are majoring in it with me, they're like bred to do it, man. I swear. They are a bunch of crazy autistic people who are just like super good at it. And I worry that I'm the imposter among us reference. And I know everyone says that, but I feel like I genuinely just don't know what's going on and I'm just cooked. Like, I don't know. People will talk about stuff and I'm like, I have no idea what that means. I probably should, but I don't. Like, I don't know. Um, yeah, enough about that. I really hope, like, my goal for 2025 is to find a job. Um, I have my first actual interview on Wednesday next week, which I haven't gotten an interview before. Um, oh my gosh, there was one company that I applied to because I applied to over 100, and only one of them, well, two of them asked me to like do something. Like all the rest of them either ignored me or sent me a rejection email. One of them was like, "Hey, here's a 3-hour coding assessment test you can take, and we'll look at your results and maybe hire you." And so like I did the 3-hour test, and they said, "No, nah, we don't want you." Um, so I was like, "Cool, that's 3 hours of my time." And then there's this other company. Holy crap, it's a pain in the butt to apply there. Like they did that. They're like, "Hey, here's a 3-hour coding assessment you can take," and like I was doing the coding problems, and like it was kind of hard to do them because like I wasn't really sure like how they wanted stuff formatted, and so like I was kind of unsure about a lot of the stuff. And then there were like all these logic questions, and then they started asking me like brain teasers, and like this was after 3 hours of like taking a test, and I'm just like, dude, my brain is fried. And like they just start asking me the dumbest crap, and I'm like, is this even real? Like I don't know what they were trying to do, and it made you install an extension to like watch you through your webcam and like check that you're not cheating and like monitor your microphone and everything. And I'm like, dude, this is not worth it. And then they're like, hey, we want to do a call with you where we can like tell you about the company and the job and stuff. I'm like, okay, cool. So finally get that scheduled, and it's basically you just mute yourself and turn off your camera in a Zoom call with some other people. It didn't show how many other people there were. Could have been just me and the one guy. Um, oh wait, no, the first time they gave me the time for it, and I didn't realize it was in their time zone and not my time zone. So I ended up joining 40 minutes late, and I joined the meeting, and I just look, and it's just this one dude, and he's just sitting there, and then like he sees me, and then he just like waves, and then the meeting just ends. Like, and I got an email the next day like, "Hey, we noticed you didn't make the meeting. Do you want to reschedule?" So I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And so I did it, and then like this meeting, they're just talking to you about the job and the company for 45 minutes, and you just sit there and you're like, okay, like I don't need to know any of this if I'm not even going to get the job, you know? Like, why can't we do this after I have like an interview or something? I didn't even get an interview. And then they sent me another thing that is like, hey, set up your profile for our software, like on our website, like for your account. So I spent like 30 minutes taking all, like, it's like a quiz thing about your personality and all this crap. Spent all this time doing that just to make an account on the stupid thing. There's probably other stuff I'm forgetting too. Like, I just did so much crap. And then they just sent me an automated email like, hey, we're going ahead with other candidates. Like, cool. You just wasted a lot of my time, and I am severely pissed off. Um, Contrary to the company's name, they are not Epic. Um, that, yeah, that was an experience. Um, one other thing that's been on my mind a lot is just people people always say this, but you don't listen to them. They say time is just going so fast. Like, the older you get, you never listen to them. But like, dude, like, I swear I was 22 like a week ago. I'm almost 26. Like, if you're younger than 20, dude, listen to me. Like, your mid 20s are just gonna fly, and apparently it just gets faster and faster and faster. My mom was telling me the other day, she's like, dude, I probably have like 20 years left, and the past 20 years of my life have gone so fast. Like, it's almost just over. And I'm like, that is terrifying. Like, you don't have a lot of time to exist and do your thing, you know? It's crazy. I I have all these puzzles I want to build, and like, what if I don't even get to build them all? What if I'm like dead in a week, you know? Time is going so fast, and it's scary. Uh, I I'm sure I sound like a boomer right now, but like, if you know, you know, you know. It's been on my mind a lot. Like, the last 2 years in general have just been so incredibly fast. Like, I remember a year ago, I'm like, dude, I got a year left of college, and I know it's just gonna go fast. And here I am, like, I'm finishing it up, and I'm like, yeah, that year went so fast. Like, I was just in my apartment for a couple months, just doing homework, and the next thing I know, I'm like, it's Christmas again, and it's crazy. But that's all for that. I guess the last thing, goals for 2025, um, delete Instagram, cut down on YouTube and Twitch, spend less time just on phone in general. I'm okay with watching YouTube or Twitch or a movie or something if I'm doing something while it's going, or if I'm giving my full attention to like a TV show or something. Those are okay to me, but I want to cut out doom scrolling as much as I can. And I think a big part of that is just realizing how fast my life is going by and how little I want to waste it. Even though I severely still struggle with motivation, and motivating myself to do things, um, I want to work on that. And because, like, I want to be able to do as much as I can in the limited time I have here, you know? Um, it's just stuff I've been thinking about a lot. So that's one goal. Worlds is this year. I want to go on a road trip to Worlds. I think Aaliyah's gonna come with me. We're gonna road trip to Seattle, get a hotel, and go to Worlds. I think it'd be cool to eat dinner on the Space Needle. That is on my bucket list, and it'd be cool to knock that out while I'm there. But, you know, I have the rest of my life to do that too, so no rush. Um, then finish college. I think that's about it. I know last year my goals were, I wanted to get a good start on making a video game and start working out, and neither of those happened. Um, I got super into 3D printing and puzzle making again, and I kind of just put my time into that. And something I've started to realize, when I'm living with my parents and my family, it's so hard to make efficient use of my time. Like when you're in college, you can kind of get in a zone where you're like, okay, like I just got to grind for 5 hours today and, put aside time to do it. But like when you're with your family, like it's just stuff is going on constantly. And like I like to hang out with my family and not just hide out in my room. But when I'm in college, I just do that, because like I got to do stuff. But when I'm here, it's just so much harder, and I feel like I'm so much more tired when I'm here. Like I just sleep all my time away. I had a dream the other day where my mom asked me, she's like, "How much do you think you could sleep in a day if you just slept as much as you wanted?" I'm like, and I just started crying in the dream. I'm like, dude, I think I could just like sleep all night and then wake up and then just go back to bed and sleep all day and then just wake up and then go back to bed and sleep all night. I think I could just sleep for the rest of my life. Um, Maybe that says something about me. I'm just so tired. um, I feel like it's worse when I'm here with my family and not living on my own. I still do get super tired, but you know, one thing I've realized lately that has kind of helped me with my motivation issues is, um, I take ADD medication. I don't think I was born with ADD if I even do have it. I think it's just a side effect of growing up on the internet and staring at a screen my entire life and having fried dopamine receptors, which obviously I'm working on, cutting out social media and crap. Um, but I went to my doctor because I have to go every 6 months to get renewed to take the medication. Um, and he was telling me, he's like, yeah, you don't have to take it every day. Like if there's a day where you're like not really planning on doing anything, like a Saturday or something, you don't have to take it. Like, and if you have days where you don't take it, it makes the days where you do take it makes it a lot more effective. And I'm like, cool. I've been on this for years and I didn't know that. Like I've just been taking the full dosage every day. So I took a few days, stopped doing it, and then like I took it, and then like that day I just locked in like crazy on what I was doing. Like that puzzle the other day, I worked on it for like 4 hours, and I didn't even realize. I just kind of like came to it. I'm like, I've been working on this puzzle for 4 hours, and my back hurts. But so like that's kind of helped because I've kind of realized like I can uh, kind of do stuff on the days. Like I can kind of plan like what days I want to be more productive and be like, okay, well, if this day I need to do like 5 hours of homework. I don't know. Maybe I'm just addicted to drugs. uh, am I a narco trafficker? I matched with a girl on Tinder this year, and she was a legit drug dealer. And she had like an ankle monitor and a probation officer and everything. I'm like, okay, bye. And like, I found her again like months later, and I matched with her, and I just said, "The convicted felon strikes again." Like I just matched with her just to roast her. She's like, "Dude, I just want someone to play Minecraft with." And I'm like, that sounds nice, but you're a drug dealer. I'm I'm kind of mean sometimes. Um, I'm totally just rambling now. Like, I realize this video is already significantly longer than last year's. But that's pretty much it. Um, Last year's I did it all in one take, but I started writing things down for the. I have a document, and every time something happens that I feel like is noteworthy, I put it down in the document. I started it like halfway through 2023, so I I didn't have like a full year's worth of stuff. I just wrote down everything I could remember from earlier in the year, and then I started doing it like consistently. And then 2024, I've done it the whole year. So I've had more stuff for this video, you know, than last time. But yeah, that is 2024. Hope you guys like the thumbnail. I actually made one for the video this year. I think it's pretty funny. Um, yeah, 2025. Quit social media. Make some more dope puzzles like this one. I just made this. It's huge. I really like it. And finish the freaking college, find a job, and start the grind, man. I want a house. I'm gonna get a house one day. I want to have full ownership one day. Be like, I 100% own this house and I have no debt. Yeah, rambling. See you guys next year. Thank you so much. If you watch this far, like genuinely, it means the world to me that you would do that. Like, thank you from the bottom of my heart. That I appreciate it, and I would do the same for you. I would listen to you talk for 2.5 hours because if you would do that for me, I would do that for you. But yeah, bye. See you in 2026 for the 2025 video. Bye. Oh yeah, I just remembered uh, I filmed my first solve of 2025 for this video just for fun. I'll play it now. Bye.